city travel when every airplane was grounded was Amtrak. Yet, the President says, oh no, going to veto that bill. Well, what we are going to spend in 6 years to make Amtrak a world-class rail system, the President spends in Iraq in under 2 months. That's what the war costs. Vastly improved American railroads versus 2 months of bloody chaos in Iraq. Costs of this war, in my mind, are unimaginable. The Congressional Budget Office put out a report projecting that the Iraq War will cost, at the rate that we're going, $1.9 trillion. Nearly $2 trillion. It's incredibly hard to put that number into perspective, but just so we can get an idea of how vast that sum is, paving the entire interstate highway system over the course of 3.5 decades only costs $425 billion. And some estimates say the interstate highway system returns $6 for every dollar we spend in economic opportunity and growth. The Iraq War has returned $0 for every $1 billion spent. So we can get an idea of how vast that sum is with the money spent in Iraq. We could pave a 4-lane American highway from Chicago to Milwaukee with an entire inch of solid gold, Mr. President. We could pave a 4-lane American highway from Chicago to Milwaukee with an entire inch of solid gold. And if you made the thickness less than an inch of solid gold, you could easily gild a highway from sea to shining sea. That's what the war costs. It costs so much. The amount of money starts to exceed what it would cost to pay even for our most ludicrous dreams. We have to use our imaginations as to where that money could go, because for a lot of it, we really don't know where it's going. Billions of dollars have just gone missing in Iraq. And according to a report released by the Special Inspector General for Iraq earlier this week, the rest has largely failed to rebuild Iraq's infrastructure. Meanwhile, infrastructure in America still needs serious help. So we don't have money accounted for in Iraq that we are sending to rebuild the Iraq infrastructure. The rest of that we do account for. The Inspector General says it's largely failing to rebuild Iraq's infrastructure, and we don't have the resources to meet our challenges here at home. Mr. President, it's time for us to make a choice. Will we put this country on the track to recovery, or watch it barrel down the rails to deterioration? Will we pave the highway to success for our people, or leave that road to rust and rot? Will we watch our economy take off, the aspirations and dreams of our people soar to new heights, or will we ground our nation, leaving thousands to face the congestion that gridlocks so many forms of transportation in so many places, leaves thousands waiting in the terminals of frustration, waiting for something to change, for something finally to change? Thinking about our transportation needs is another way to think about what we want the United States of America to look like as a nation. As someone who travels quite a bit across the landscape of the country, I experience all these frustrations with all of these different modes of transportation. And transportation, Mr. President, is about more than getting from one place to another. It is about economic opportunity and commerce. It is about getting products to market. It is about getting people to service. It is about getting people to important institutions so that they can be healed. It is about creating economic opportunity. It is about uniting families from coast to coast. It is about the quality of air and the environment we collectively enjoy by getting more people out of cars. It is, by the same token, the opportunity to have multiple modes of security. It has so many dimensions to it. But all those dimensions go unresponded to because we are spending hundreds of billions of dollars in the war in Iraq. Those needs are yet another reason it is time to end this war. Because when it comes to the failed war in Iraq, American families are being taken for a ride. Mr. President, it's time to soar again. It's time to reinforce with the strongest iron and steel the bridges to safety and success. Time to clear off the barricades from the road to opportunity. Time to put America on the highest speed track we can, and to make sure we are always first in flight, high above the clouds. Those goals are not imaginary or unattainable. They are very much within our reach. But for that, Mr. President, we have to change the course in Iraq and invest back here in America at home. I'll continue to come to the floor, Mr. President, to speak about different dimensions of the cost of this war in Iraq. It is a cost the American people can no longer suffer. Mr. President, with that, I yield the floor.